In today's episode, we'll be answering the question, does a garage conversion devalue your house? In today's episode, we'll be asking the questions. When is it advantageous to do a garage conversion? What is the number one factor to consider when you're contemplating doing a garage conversion? And then we're going to talk about what is the biggest asset within a garage conversion. And then last but not least, what are the technical issues you'll want to be sure and watch for? All right, all that coming up right now. So when is it a good thing to do a garage conversion? When is a garage conversion going to increase the value of your home rather than decrease the value of your home? Well, it goes like this. Typically, you'll find the opportunity to increase your home's value by converting a garage into living space wherever there are lower priced houses and smaller budgets that the families have for living. It'll be in the lesser neighborhoods, in the lower echelons of the house sale prices, and you'll probably see lots of cars parked on the curbs or along the sides of the street in the areas where garage conversions can help your home value. When we're talking about garage conversions and whether the value of your house is going to go up or down due to that conversion, we'll start to recognize that in high dollar neighborhoods, garage conversions are not really good for the value of your home or your property. In some cases, the HOAs won't even allow garage conversions. You want to make sure before you even contemplate a garage conversion that you make sure that it's allowed by the neighborhood, by the HOA, by the subdivision rules, by the county, and by the city. Some places don't allow these kind of conversions. In these areas, you will not see cars parked along the curbs. It may even be against the HOA or the city or county standards to be parked on the curb. So again, check to see what's normal in these neighborhoods. But I think you're going to find in the upper echelon price ranges of houses, in the more expensive houses, garage conversions will hurt your property value. So what are some of the factors to consider if you have the right to do a garage conversion, and if you think that that garage conversion is going to help your property value? What are some of the considerations that you need to take to heed? I believe the number one consideration should always be by the numbers. How much does it cost to do the conversion versus how much will it increase your property's value? You know, if it costs $75 square foot to do the garage conversion, and it'll make your house or that area of the house worth $200 a square foot, then it's a pretty easy yes, let's do the garage conversion, because economically it makes perfect sense, and it's even smart to do it because again, it's costing you $75 a square foot to do the conversion, and it's making that same square footage worth $200,000 a square foot when you go to sell the property. Now, if those numbers were reversed and it costs $200 to do the conversion and it only increases your property's value for that area of square foot to 75, then of course you don't want to do it because it doesn't make sense. And why would you do it? So let's talk about some of the technical issues you'll want to be aware of if you're going to go forward with a garage conversion. The first thing you want to be aware of, and we mentioned previously, is it even allowed in the neighborhood by the HOA, by the county, by the city? Are the powers that be allowing a garage conversion to even be a consideration? That's number one. Number two, you're going to have to look at the infrastructure of your house and the bones of your house and the attic space of your house and contemplate where are you going to put the ductwork for this new garage conversion. This can only be counted as an addition or improvement to the house if the area is heated and cooled. If it's not heated or cooled, then you won't get much credit for it from the appraisers. Even if there's ample space for the ductwork, you can't just add ductwork to an existing system and expect it to function correctly. You may have to upgrade the entire system, inside and outside, to handle the extra square footage. It depends a lot on how much square footage it is, but if it's relatively any kind of square foot, you may have to change the tonnage of your current system inside and outside. And this is another big factor. Now, we could avoid that by not adding extra ductwork, just leaving the old system alone to heat and cool whatever it was before, and then take the garage conversion itself and add a mini split unit just to that area. Mini splits are great. They're very economical. They're very energy efficient, and they're a super viable choice. Not to mention the fact that you don't have to cool or heat that garage conversion area if you're not there. Only turn it on when you need it. One thing's for sure, though. You're going to want to heat and cool this area, or you're not going to be given much credit for it in the new appraisal. And while we're at it, if you're going to make this garage conversion into a bedroom, then you're going to have to add closets, because it can't be considered a bedroom unless it has closets. And I think there's a minimum in everyone's appraisal manual what constitutes a closet. Figure out what that is and make sure you at least have a closet, or they won't even count it as the fourth bedroom if that's what you're intending. Now, the third thing you want to consider is adding this garage conversion into the heating and cooled area of this house going to affect the ability of your electrical system? In other words, does your current electrical system for the entire house, does it have enough room or capacity to add more plugs, to add more heating and AC tug? Because the last thing you want to do is get into this garage conversion all the way with the permits and everything you got to do and have everything ordered and be going along, only to find out your current electrical setup can't handle it. Now you got to rewire the whole house. And let me tell you why that's especially problematic. You know, when you have to rewire a whole house, then I strongly suggest anytime you're dealing with electricity, because it could maybe hurt somebody or kill somebody if it's done wrong, you're going to have to get a licensed professional. You're going to have to get a permit for that. And believe me, you're going to be bringing another inspector in to start looking at your house, and they will find any and everything wrong with your house. And then you could kind of get into a snowball effect. They could even be finding work that was done previously by you or by a previous owner that was not permitted and cause you major problems. So that's why it's so important to figure this stuff out ahead of time before you just go into this garage conversion, because it could snowball pretty fast into a bunch of expense and it could get scary. Last but not least, you'll want to pull permits on this one. You don't mess around with this, because, you know, this construction is going to be pretty major. It's going to be pretty obvious to all your neighbors. 9 times out of 10, when you're discovered doing a remodel without a permit, you've been turned in by your neighbor to the right, to the left, or in the back of you or in the front of you. It's one of those 4 people that have turned you in. A garage conversion is too big to hide. Just go ahead and pull the permits and let's get going from the very beginning. Now, before we get to what I consider to be the biggest asset of a garage conversion, take a little time to look at that like button, that share button. Let's acknowledge them. Let's press on them a little bit. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Okay, now on to more about garage conversions. When I'm doing a garage conversion, I really like to do it as a 4th master bedroom. Typically, this is a big draw because it'll be a big bedroom. In a lot of the houses that I've remodeled, they were older houses, they were smaller houses, and the master bedroom was tiny and the master bath was just cramped all the way through. So it's really nice when you're doing a garage conversion to contemplate, can I get this into a big master bedroom situation with a nice full bath? And so when I'm looking at garage conversions, I want to know, is there plumbing over there already in the garage? And usually there is, because there was a washer and dryer in the garage. So there's water going to the garage, and there's also a sewer pipe going from the washer where they dump the water after every load into the sewer system. So when I know that I have those things in the garage, it can get pretty easy to have a full, beautiful master bathroom and a big master bedroom. And to me, that's the reason to do a garage conversion. Not to put a pool table in, or a game room, or a man cave. Because let's face it, to sell this house for the highest price, you've got to sell the woman. And the woman doesn't care about your man cave, and she doesn't care about your pool table. What the woman cares about is a beautiful master bath and lots of room in the master bedroom. And that's what I think the biggest asset is. Now remember, to make a really beautiful master bath, You might have to jackhammer some concrete and move some plumbing around to the right place, but that's no step for a stepper. And when I say no step for a stepper, I mean for a professional plumber. They can get it all set where you need it to be, the toilets and the shower drains and all that. Just make sure that plumbing system is pretty much all the way over in the area, and then they'll get it to the exact place you need it to be. And that's what I think the biggest asset of a garage conversion can be. A beautiful big master bedroom with a beautiful master bath.